What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here with Bronco, who is a yellow lab, and he has no respect for his handler, whoever's walking him on a leash. He also has some reactivity, but in this video, I'm gonna be telling you guys exactly how we stop leash pulling so that we can have a well-mannered, loose leash walk dog, right? That's me. He's sniffing something, and I push back, and he's like, no, I wanna go to that, and he's choking himself. So we need to stop this, build a little more communication and trust between us. Watch the video all the way through to the end. I'll show you exactly how we do it. I'm gonna get into the video, but first, I need to explain to you why dogs pull. Pulling is a self-reinforced issue. A dog wants to go sniff that patch of grass, or look at that, or pee on that pull, or whatever. They pull, they get there. By us doing nothing, we just reinforce our dog to do that more. There's also a thing called opposition reflex, where if the harder I pull back on Bronco, the further he's gonna push into the pull, right? An example, if I were to push someone, they have to lean into the person that's pushing them in order for them not to fall over. And what we wanna do is we wanna teach Bronco the opposite. We wanna teach him, you feel pressure, you come back to us. So we do is we have him hooked up to a prong collar. It's not live yet, but we're about to go live. And step number one is just going to be teaching him, you feel pressure, you come back to me. That's the automatic response. We cannot give any sort of corrections or pressure without a dog knowing how to turn it off. We have to give him an outlet. So we'll get that started. I'm about to go live with a prong collar. If I can find it in there. And we are live. Let's get going. So he's gonna pull into it. And yes, good boy. And he just felt a lot more pressure than what he's used to. Also, a lot of people ask me, what are you using in the pouch? Just a kibble, that's all. But right now he's walking with a loose leash. He's getting to the end of the leash. Yes, a small amount of pressure. Yes, good boy. He comes back to me and he gets paid. We want to do this for a couple minutes, really get the dog used to, yes, feeling pressure and coming back to us, right? We want his automatic response to not be to pull in harder into the leash. It's actually to do the opposite. You feel me pulling, you come with it, right? And then you get paid. So he has a pretty good understanding of this. Yep, right. Seems like he has this down. We want to do this for a couple minutes. We'll move on to step number two. Second step is going to be sudden U-turns. We're gonna walk, good boy. Bronco is going to get to the end of the leash. He is going to feel a what? It's gonna be uncomfortable for a second, and I'm gonna be walking that way. He's gonna be like, what the heck? We were just walking this way. That's a sudden U-turn. That's all we're doing. Yes, good boy, good. Right, and so, good boy. He has no idea what hit him, right? He's like, what the heck? We were just going this way. Good boy. Yes. Okay, let's go this way. Now we'll walk back into the cameraman, but we want to do this a couple times. He's already paying a lot more attention to me. This is inherently going to stress him out a little bit, but what I'd rather do is stop this leash pulling in 1 or 2 training sessions with, you know, maybe between 2 and 6 corrections, and him never pulling a leash again, as opposed to using a harness or any of these other silly goofball methods that Zach George is gonna tell you to do, and a dog pull for, you know, months, years, whatever, which is a common issue I see every day in my life. So, good boy, we've given him 1 correction. He's already paying a little more attention, but he's going to get, yes, he's going to get a little more complacent. And once he stops paying attention to me, I'm gonna turn around and walk the other way again. Yes, good boy, good. Good boy, Bronco. Yes, he's looking at, it's probably hard to see, but he was looking at me smiling. Good. Brought his motor down a good amount, right? He's paying a little more attention to me. Good, Bronco. So now he has a lot more engagement. He understands, oh shoot, I have to be paying attention to him, or when he turns around and walks the other way, it's gonna feel uncomfortable for a second. So inherently, we are discouraging the pulling and encouraging the attention. Every time he looks at me, yes, good boy. I'm showing him that's what we want you to do. So we're gonna do another U-turn until he catches me. Once he catches me, we'll move on to the next step. Yes, good boy. Good. Yes, good boy. So he caught me. Let's see if we can test him one more time. Yeah, there you go. Good. We want to make sure we're giving him wind, showing him that's what we want you to do instead of not paying attention to me. So he has that down. The next step is going to be sudden stops. Same thing as sudden U-turns, except we're just stopping suddenly, right? I'm gonna stop. Yes, good boy. And most of the time, if you've done sudden U-turns correctly, sudden stops, you don't even need to give a correction. But he's loose leash walking now. This is night and day difference. His motor is now, I'd say, probably at maybe a 20 or so. And 5 minutes ago, his motor was at like maybe a 70, right? His motor's a lot lower. It's a walk, right? There's no need to be going crazy. There's no need to be all over the place. We're just walking. That's all we're doing. Yes, good boy. And what we're doing with the sudden stops is if he gets to the end of the leash, right before he's at the end of the leash, I'm giving a pop. Might be hard to show you because he's doing so well, but like that. Yes, good boy. Yes, okay. Right, I stopped. He's like, what? Oh, you stopped? Right, he's starting to learn that he has to pay a little more attention to us. Cameraman, we're gonna turn around and walk that way. Starting to drizzle a little bit, but we'll finish up the video for you guys. Might as well put a sudden U-turn in here. Good boy. Yes, Bronco. Good. Yes. Let's get a couple more sudden stops in. And again, we don't want to move on from sudden stops until we have sudden stops down 100%. Yes, good boy. Good boy. Cameraman, do you know how many corrections we're on? 2. 2 corrections. I think maybe 3, but I don't know, 2 or 3 corrections, and he's already a lot more engaged, and now he's a lot less stressed. This is exactly what we want. Yes, good boy. Every time he stops, I'm reinforcing. Balanced training. You encourage behaviors that we want, and we also want to discourage, make behaviors that we don't want to be repeated uncomfortable. It's like life, right? You and I have lived stressful lives. Yes, good boy. I stopped suddenly, he wasn't paying attention. It's not my fault. It's totally on Bronco, and Bronco has complete control. Yes, we're not asking for a heel. He doesn't have to walk next to me. He can walk ahead of me. He just can't be at the end of the leash. So, yes, good boy. Right, we're gonna practice this for several training sessions. You know, kind of go over all these steps again, but let's cover the last step before we wrap it up. Last step is going to be sporadic walking, where we're gonna change directions, change speed, as well as throw in these sudden U-turns and the sudden stops randomly, so we look like hooligans walking around. That's what you want to look like. If you don't look like a hooligan, you're not doing it right. So, right, I'm gonna change speed, also change direction. Right, this is gonna be a game. He wants to follow the leader. That's all what this is about, right? We're following the leader. Good boy, yes. And I'm constantly reinforcing him, showing this is the behavior that we want you to do. Good, Bronco. Walk this way. Yes. And you'll see when I do sudden U-turns, I turn around and walk that way. I don't even look at him to see if he's paying attention. I turn around and walk the other way. If he gets to the end of the leash, he's going to get a correction because he's not paying attention. That's all, right? We'll change speed a little bit. We'll walk fast. Our cameraman is going to have some really strong calves from speed walking backwards, and we'll stop. Yes! He caught me there. And we'll pay him for that. That's what we want, right? We're touching both sides of this. So he is much more relaxed. This is exactly what we want. I'm gonna continue sporadic walking, looking like a hooligan as, yes, good boy, as we wrap up this video. But if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button and tag me on Instagram. Put a post on your story of what you're doing with your dog. I would love to see it. If you're following me, maybe I'll repost it to my story. But add it to your story. I'd love to see what you guys are doing. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And as always, we'll see you in the next one.